In October 2020, NASA managed to discover water on the moon's surface. So can we live on the moon? Definitely possible. Now everyone is talking about going to Mars. But did you ever imagine that why can't we live on the moon? Moon is closer. It takes only 3 days to go to the moon and it requires less energy to go to moon. So can moon be habitable? Can we humans settle down on moon? What is stopping us from settling there? Can we terraform moon? Let's find out in this video.
Science Orzo.
Science Orzo.
Science Orzo.
Science Orzo.
Science Orzo.
Scientists have been exploring what it would take to live on another planet for a long period of time. But living on the moon is not an easy feat. And there are plenty of problems that we'll need to solve before we can pack our bags. The main problems are: where do we live on the moon? How do we get our food? And how do we get our energy? The moon's environment is not nearly as easy to live on Earth. If we were to live on the moon, one thing that we would be careful is toxic lunar dust. Believe me, it's so toxic. On 1972 Apollo 17, astronauts complained that the dust made their eyes water and made their throats sore. If we were to stay on the moon for longer periods of time, the effects would be far more likely dangerous. Lunar dust isn't the only issue. Because of the moon's sparse atmosphere, there is no protection from meteorites or radiation. The temperature fluctuations of the moon is so intense, ranging from -248 to 123 degrees Celsius. To make the moon habitable, we would have to live in shelters, in addition to protecting us from meteorites, radiation, and would allow us to breathe. A single breath on the moon atmosphere would be deadly. Scientists must find a way to fight this problem. Experiments on the International Space Station have found one way around this. They rely on a recycling air system, which could be adapted for the moon. This could look like planting oxygen-emitting plants in lunar greenhouses and then sending purified air through sealed habitation pods. Scientific challenge aside, this would be an entirely new way of life that we would have to adapt to. To survive on the moon for an extended period of time, people will need a way to produce their food. One way to secure a continuous food supply is to regularly ship supplies from the Earth, but relying on the food shipments would be costly and inefficient. An alternative could be to grow food in the moon. As you can probably guess, growing food in space is quite different from planting vegetables in your garden. So, can soil on moon support the growth of plants? The answer is no. The lunar soil does not contain reactive nitrogen, a mineral that is necessary for plant growth. But in one study from 2019, researchers were able to harvest tomatoes, peas, radishes, and 2 other veggies from simulated lunar soil. Another potential roadblock is the high levels of radiation on the moon. Since the moon doesn't have the same thick protective atmosphere as Earth, particles can get to the lunar surface and cause damage to plants. Some sort of shield or blocking mechanism such as lunar greenhouse may be necessary to grow plants on the moon. Another issue comes up when we think about water in the crops. In October 2020, NASA managed to discover water on the moon's surface. This suggests that water may be more widespread and not limited to the shadowed colder regions. It's still yet to be determined how easily it can be accessed. If this lunar water is clean and easily attainable, then it would be much quicker and cheaper than sending water from Earth. In addition, NASA scientists have experimented with different strategies for watering plants in challenging environments and currently able to grow food on the space station. This is a promising development. As you can see, it shows us that it's possible to grow plants on the microgravity environments. In order to live on the moon, we'll need to rely on a renewable energy supply. Although NASA is developing power generation systems that could support longer stays on the lunar surface, additional energy infrastructure will be needed to make human settlement on the moon a reality. In some ways, this challenge is not so different from those on Earth. For example, solar energy is an increasingly efficient and sustainable solution for many terrestrial energy needs. And innovators are already working on a variety of solutions to enable solar power generated during the day to be stored at the night. The lunar environment presents unique challenges. That's why NASA is looking at a number of potential technologies that could develop the way we get power on moon, where we need it, when we need it. So can we live on the moon? Short answer, it's possible. Definitely possible. The lunar environment poses unique challenges. There are plenty of problems that we need to solve before we are able to live on the moon. Living on the moon would be a giant leap, but NASA is taking small steps to make it a reality. So, thank you for watching. See you guys soon in another interesting video. Until then, bye bye.